In the world of FPS games, not many try to contest juggernauts like Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six. I mean, why would you want to? The communities around those games don't seem to be starved of content, but Riot decided that the genre needed a new entry, so when they announced that they would attempt to contest these giants, the pressure was on to deliver. So let's find out if they did. Valorant explores a world of a mix between fantasy and science fiction, set in a future Earth of some kind. It seems that something has happened. Something big, I guess. Not much is known about this big event, but there's ancients from all over the world here to save the day? There's shady organizations. Okay, maybe storytelling isn't this game's strong point. Maybe in 4 years, they'll make a Valorant 2. This lack in story doesn't mean that the world of Valorant has shown to be bland or empty. There's a lot of visual world building with each of these maps giving insight to what the culture of the future Earth is. Not to mention the agents that seem to ooze charm and bring life to the game that anti-terrorists and terrorist operators and operations could never do in CSGO. The sound is well crafted. The music of the game gives off that perfect futuristic feel. All the sounds of the guns are satisfying, from the operator's chunky blast to the minor details that can clue you in on what's going on around you. Safe to say that sound is a huge aspect of this game design. After all, it is trying to be CSGO. Since this game borrows heavily from CSGO, Rainbow Six, and Overwatch, you can find an interesting fusion of these games. Primarily, you will pick up on the gun mechanics that are obviously taken from Counter-Strike. Accuracy fluctuations, spray patterns, buy menus, and many guns that are almost copy-pasted in terms of mechanical similarities. This won't be a movement shooter. You'll be taking things slow from time to time. If you have played CSGO, then you'll get a grasp of these weapons easily. If you haven't, you still will have a decent time learning these weapons. Characters in this game are agents. Agents pull in concepts from Overwatch and Rainbow Six. Each agent has a specific set of a utility that they can buy at the start of the round. Depending on the character's category, they will have a certain purpose to their kits. Take Raze, for example, my favorite character. She is a duelist, which means she will excel in fights with other agents. She has an assortment of explosive weaponry at her disposal. Look at another agent, like Cypher, who is a sentinel. They look to secure a location from enemy advances. Cypher does this with cameras, tripwires, and the smoke. Not to mention his ult, which shows the enemy's location.
One enemy remaining.
Where is everyone hiding?
Oh yeah, ultimates. This game has ultimates. Similarly to utility, each agent has a unique ultimate that they can use. Agents will gain ult points by gaining kills, grabbing ult orbs at certain times of the round, or other actions. Once they have enough, they can use their ult. It's a pretty neat way to reward players for going out and completing the objectives of the game. I won't bore you with explanations of each ultimate, because you can figure that on your own. So what goes on in a round? The first part of the round is the buy and setup phase. Here you buy your utility, guns, and shields, as well as setting up defenses or planning attacks. Not much to talk about here. Once the round starts, the main objective is simple. Attackers must take a spike to one of the objective zones on the map, place it, and defend it until it explodes. Alternatively, they can kill all defending agents and win that way. Defenders will either have to kill all attackers, run the timer out before the spike is planted, or defuse the spike before it explodes if the attackers manage to plant it. The how, when, and who of attacking and defending is determined by your agents, your strategy, and the weapons you have purchased. It certainly seems basic at first glance, but it does have a lot of options. Winning a match is simple. It's just the first to 13 round wins, complete with a halftime switch and an overtime round to spice things up. This overtime round makes everyone have the same amount of money and ultimate points. Again, it's simple, but it's very exciting. Other than that, there's a few other modes. Spike Rush, which is a first to 4 mode that has a bunch of orbs around the map that will give you specific upgrades that are randomly selected at the beginning of the match during the agent select. And there's a newly added deathmatch mode, which is basically what it sounds like. Run around, kill other people, first to 30 wins. There is a fair share of content in this game, and since the game has only recently come out, there are many years of constant updates to add more stuff. Agents keep getting added every single chapter of the acts. So if one of the agents interests you, you can start playing, or come back later to see if there's a new agent that interests you. There aren't many maps to choose from, but this keeps it easy to learn. Modes also seem to be expanding, as it was just one simple mode with a ranked version and a lobby at the beginning of launch. But now there's Spike Rush in this new deathmatch mode, which gives a lot of fun to be had. But of course there's a catch to this content. Since it's a free-to-play game, most of the content is locked behind paywalls. Agents will either need to be grinded for or paid for up front to play. The only weapon skins you can collect are the skins at the end of the battle passes as part of the free section, or the agent contracts, which take equally amount of time to grind out. Paying $10 can net you the battle pass, and you'll gain far more rewards that way. Honestly, that's worth it because you get to choose your rewards based on how long you play. And if you play for a long time, you'll get a lot of rewards. What isn't worth it is this awful store page. Skins are being sold for one single fee with no grinding needed at a relatively large sum of money. I mean, some of these packs can be up to $90, and that's not to mention the little random things that'll show up from time to time. I know value is based on what a person is willing to pay, but just keep in mind you can buy whole games with this money. I mean, here's a list of ones you probably should take your $90 and buy right now. The presentation of the game is very well made. However, it does leave a lot to be desired in terms of lore and story. Gameplay feels as good as you'd hope it from a tactical shooter with many options to choose from. Just a few more tweaks and it could be so much better to play. Content is plentiful with maps, modes, agents, guns, and such. But customization content is locked behind quite a deep paywall that you might find better use for on other games instead of the skins. Side note, this is off the script, by the way. The game also comes with a anti-cheat software called Vanguard. This software launches on your computer startup and has one of the highest level accesses to your computer. So remember that when you want to get this game. If you're willing to give Riot nearly full access to your computer, then that's fine. But do keep in mind for people that are a little scared of giving companies access to their computers. Despite some of the negatives, you can still enjoy the game without having to pay anything at all. That's why I say that this is a golden standard. A great game that can be improved upon, but definitely an example of how to make a fun game.
What I want.